Satan, an entity that is thought to be the embodiment of pure evil.
I want you to understand this word satanic is connected to Satanism, which is connected to Satan, Shaitan, which we'll be discussing here.
This is the danger. This is the danger. This is the danger. This is the danger.
Assalamu alaikum, no stranger to the Deen Show, Sheikh Allah, currently the Director of Human Concern International, formerly the Director of Islam, Canada. Like I said, no stranger to the Deen Show. How you been? Welcome back.
No complaints, so it's nice to be back, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting the invitation. Now, me and you opening up talking about Satanism, people like, okay.
What a genius thing to make it so that even saying you've communicated the same for saying you sound like a loop.
There's a lot to unpack it here. He was talking, so he started off with Satanism, and it's connected to obviously Shaitan. And he's talking about a guy studying the religious symbols, and then he connected these patterns. Nobody was deciphering them until this guy came along. He mentioned a person who started to decipher these patterns. And lo and behold, he deciphered that you have the satanic cross, you have this Freemason app on there, this ancient term, ancient Greek, Egyptian. You're actually Egyptian. There's a lot of stuff from the past, mixing with magic and all that. What do you got to say? But at the end of the day, we don't know if this is true or not.
Look at your M closely. There's a gap right here in the letter M. It's never connected. So you go into Hebrew. The letter Vav is also the number 6. Short top, long tail. Short top, long tail. You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can. But my interest is the word monster. What do you see? No. There's a cross. What has Christ got to do with an energy drink, let alone the name monster? So I thought, well, maybe this is a Christian company then. BOC at the bottom of the can. Do you know what that stands for? That's the F word. They write it on the side of the can, so I know that's the F word. Now, do you know what a MILF is? Yes, that's on the box. MILFs dig it, and you will too. This is not a Christian company at all. So why would they have a cross on the can? Here is the message. Antichrist. 666 in Hebrew.
But it's a nice way to open up the topic of the devil, Shaitan, and really let people know, who the devil is, the enemy of mankind, and hopefully they can how to protect themselves.
Now, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the people knowledge if you don't know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defines Shaitan as, he calls him al-Ghabul, the one that the one that deceives you. So عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ is your staunch enemy, clear, manifest. فَاتَّخِذُوهُ عَدُوًّا. So take him as an enemy as he takes you as an enemy. So they're called the one that even but I want to clarify that this is who he is and this is who he's not. He's not the fallen angel. So a lot of people think that this is the fallen angel, which is obviously not true, because the angel are made of light and Shaitan is made of fire. So it's definitely not there. And then also angels do not disobey the command of Allah, and Shaitan did. So that's obviously not a match. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala min al-jinn an amr rabbi. Allah puts it to bed. Okay? He was among the jinn that you cannot see. Janeen, Jannah, Jannat, all of that has to do with the jinn that you cannot see, unseen. So kana min al-jinn was among the jinn that فسقت الحبة خرج عن الغلاف, came out the seeds. But Shari'i, Islamically, خرج عن طاعة. He's obeyed the command of Allah. And after that, I will tell you one thing just as an FYI. Do you believe it? There's people that are actually worse than Shaitan. Just saying. You're interested to know who's worse than Shaitan? Stay tuned, inshallah. You know who they are?
No,
oh my God, okay.
So people who are worse than the devil.
Worse than Shaitan.
The devil can be the unseen, the jinn, and humankind.
Yes, there are two types of Shaitan. Shayateen al-ins wal-jinn. Shaitan of the ins, when you can see, nasa, you can see. by healing. A jinn you cannot see.
And shaitan translates to what? What is it?
The shaitan actually is shaitan. It's like a disobedient, the one that came out of the obedience of, so on. So the rejected, the accursed, all of these are labels of shaitan. No need for introduction, but what we also need to know that some scholars say the worst, which one, shaitan al-ins or shaitan al-jinn? They say shaitan al-ins. You know, the human shaitan is worse than the jinn shaitan. Why? Because when the jinn shaitan comes, all you have to say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim, I seek protection of Allah, and Satan, the rejected, yakhnus, he belittles, he goes away. Scared. But if the human being in front of you, he's a shaitan of the ins, of the human being, because you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim, he's still there.
Wow.
Yeah. But let me just finish this circle, inshallah. Who's worse than shaitan? The scholars say the one that is worse than shaitan is the one that doesn't pray. Just a reminder for brothers and sisters, inshallah, if you haven't prayed yet, well, it's time. Never despair of Allah's mercy, because Allah forgives all sins and comes back except shirk, of course, before you die. And then you come back, Allah will turn all the bad deeds into good deeds, and turn you from the bad places to good places, the bad company to the right company, and so on. So the one that is worse than shaitan is actually the one that doesn't pray. Why? Because umira الشيطان ليسجد لآدم فأبى وأمر ابن آدم ليسجد لله فأبى. Which means shaitan, Satan the rejected, was commanded to bow down to Adam, and he refused. Bow down in respect, of course, not in worship, by the commandment. But the children of Adam, us, were commanded to bow down to Allah, our Creator, but we refused. Which one do you think is worse? The one that was commanded to bow down to Shaitan, to Adam, that he refused, or the one that was commanded to bow down to Allah and refused? So it's just a reminder for brothers and sisters, for those who don't want to be worse than Shaitan, I think it's time to pray before you pray to Allah.
You should really look for a higher, like, there's a devil, obviously there's a creator. Now there must be a purpose. The creator's the most wise. He didn't just create all this for a foolish purpose, right? There has to be just like Elon Musk creates the car, Tesla. Imagine if there was no instruction on how to use it. That would make no sense. What about us? Going deeper now. Going deeper into when you, and there's a saying that the greatest, I don't know if you've heard of this, the greatest trick the devil played on mankind is to convince people he doesn't exist. So you got
others.
Yeah, so but people are talking about, they're fascinated with this, but then what's the action behind when you really to see that he exists, which he does, he's there, he's working to deceive you from living your true purpose, worshiping your creator, and everything that comes from there, and if you stop there, why do you insist?
Well, Allah will not be deceived about the deceiving one. And of course, he is the one that بِيَجْرِي مَجْرَى الدَّمِ. I mean, if he doesn't exist, I don't know what to tell you, because he runs in your veins. That means as long as you're alive. And there are tricks, plenty of tricks that he plays. And of course, we'll talk about the tricks, we'll talk about how to counter it and how to recognize it, what you have to do to protect yourself, inshallah, throughout the episode. But, he does indeed exist, because God Almighty mentioned it's in the Quran. We believe in it. You know, the Prophet said that he does exist. Even that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud in the hadith that is sahih, again, that he came 3 nights in a row, tried to take away the alms and the Bayt al-Muslimin and all of that. So he caught him, and he says, you know what, I have the children that let me go 3 times, and he came back the 3rd night. He says, that's it, I'm not going to let you go this time. Because Prophet says, what happened to your guests in the evening? Oh, Abdullah Mas'ud radiallahu anhu. He said he didn't. He's lying. He's coming back. He says he's not coming back. He comes. Then that 3rd time he says, okay, I'm not going to let you go. So he says, let me go, and I will tell you something that is very beneficial for you. He says, before you go to sleep, say Ayatul Kursi, and then Shaitan will never touch you until the morning. So Prophet said, what happened? He told him. Shaitan told him. He says, Sadaqaka wa huwa kadhub. He told you the truth, even though he's a habitual liar. We learned something now, that before you go to sleep, you make sure that you recite Ayatul Kursi, and obviously make wudu and all of these adhkar. And I want you to download Test Muslim. We're just Muslim. It's free app, live free stuff. So please make sure that you learn about it. And I'll finish with a joke. It's like a man that wanted to his wife with your permission.
Yes, please go ahead.
Just to it's shaitan is heavy, so we need to lighten the load a little bit. So a man that was asked by his wife, "Honey, do you see me in your dreams?" He goes, "No, I actually don't see you in my dreams." He goes, "Why not?" Because I recite Ayatul Kursi before I go to sleep. So don't do that. Don't do this.
And this is a very heavy, serious topic. And there's a few things. One of them, before I get to my next question, I was just thinking, like, imagine, like, this is amazing to see Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him, is that we have the ultimate miracles, the Quran, tamper-free, tamper-proof. It's a living miracle. Anyone wants to put it to the test, if you're sincere, it'll guide you to guidance. If you're sincere, because you do have a lot of people who, are not sincere, and what happens, it takes them to the place they want, right? Now, the person's sincere, they look at the Quran, that's one thing. If you look at Prophet Muhammad's life, he did miracles, there's prophecies, there's just so much thing documented. It's not things that you have chain of narrations of hundreds of people witnessing things, miracles. Then you have this, also you have where does a person have the time, the ability to come up? You have so much that thought and the supplications that are there, and it's not like no other way of life, no other religion that just blows my mind. All of these things, describing, the shaitan, if you come in the house and you don't say Bismillah, you've got a place to stay. Why is he, if you don't say Bismillah in the name of God, Allah, before you eat, you got food to eat, these details, it's like just amazing.
Alhamdulillah, that's why Islam is a comprehensive religion. It's a way of life. It's not a fad or something where on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday and take off. It is every aspect in life Islam is telling you to do it. It is true. Even when you eat, like you said, when you actually take off your clothes, you say Bismillah, so he doesn't see you. When you wear something, you say Bismillah. Even when you have intimate relations with your spouses, Bismillah. All of that stuff. You go to the bathroom, Allah protect our children, shaitan. That's the first rights. You go to the bathroom, you say, male and female, shaitan. So every aspect of your life, you can actually see that Allah is trying to tell you, protect yourself from shaitan, right? That's why He says, أولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم. Those who remember, أولي الألباب, He didn't say the one that is this is intellectual individual that has an amazing mind, that goes to just a human being. Smart person that remembers Allah, because shaitan will stay away from you. And Allah will remember you. And if you remember Him in yourself, He will remember yourself. Remember al-mala in public, Allah will remember you. Better public meaning.
We have these secret societies, these cults. So now, if we look at it, we were like, people want to get our message, shahada, you have the shahada, and some of the coins of the past. Is that correct? Right? That there's no deity worthy worship except the one God, Allah, la ilaha illallah. So you want to push your message out. So what do you, these secret society, the Masons, which he's mentioning, can this be people in these positions that now they're pushing their agendas, subtly, just pushing this out? And what are your...
Of course, these are the soldiers. It's the soldiers. Yes, of course. They work on his behalf. These are the arrows. So we have to be clever and also be aware of this. Which means I want to know evil not because I want to know evil, but I want to know evil so I can stay away from evil. So we have to also know the use of shaitan. He talks about 7. So number 1 is exactly what he mentioned. Number 1 on shaitan's list is to you commit to kufr. You don't believe in Allah. You should ascribe partners on Allah. Number 1 on this list. Because if he cannot tell you to do that, you move down to number 2, which is a bid'ah, an innovation. And some of the scholars actually it's worse than the other one, because a bid'ah you will think you're doing something right. So you will never repent from that. But this is something that is huge, because you think you're doing right, but you're not. You haven't followed the Quran and Sunnah. You're doing something that is disobedient, and you will actually tell people to do it. That is wrong. And you get offended if people do not follow the bid'ah innovation. Amazing. So this is number 1 on this list. Number 3 talks about kaba'ir, major sins. When you lie, you steal, you commit adultery, and all of these things are major sins. If he can't get you to do that, we'll go down a notch. We'll go to minor sins. You know, not the big guns, but you know what? A lot of lemon. You know, the minor sins. You look here, do that, talk about this, and all of these things. You cannot do that. You will step one down. You will go to the mubah. Mubah is what's permissible. You don't even know this is allowed. This is allowed. So you waste your time doing something absolutely no benefit whatsoever. You know, watching India playing Pakistan, Zindabad, you know, because of the sheikh, whatever it is. So that's exactly what you will be wasting your life away, wasting time, which is precious because Allah takes note by time. So he's actually taking away your capital, so he makes you waste time. What are you doing, sheikh? What are you doing, man? So I'm killing some time. You're actually killing yourself. So if you cannot do that, yeah, of course. So
Repeat that again.
Yeah. So the
What about what are you doing?
yeah, I'm killing some time. You're literally killing yourself because إنما أنت عدد. You are a mere number. You are a mere a breath you take, a pulse that you know that it comes in, a blink of an eye. These are days numbered. So remember, خلق السماوات والأرض. So the heavens and the earth and the sun and the rise is like your clock. Every time the sun rises and sets, that's you closer to the grave. And that's why Allah says, "Hamdu reflect about the ayat." Otherwise, you haven't really thought about it. So when you go to sleep, as if you're going to coffin, when you control the room temperature, you control your temperature of your grave. So you have to think about it in these aspects. Even some of the righteous used to actually have a grave and they would go inside and it says, Allah, take me back. And they would, alhamdulillah, give back. So I go back 3 times. It says, be conscious of Allah. One day it says, Allah. You will hear nay. So these are the things that he was trying to get you out. Then he steps the way down, bit number 6. Because, okay, well, something that is a lesser a benefit. For example, you know, in the Salat time when you say Allahu Akbar, means Allah Akbar, God is greater. So I'm not going to watch that movie, I'm not going to watch that game because I'm literally saying Allah is not Akbar, God is not greater. This movie is Akbar. This match is Akbar. Yeah? So he's going to tell you, oh, he'll tell you, oh, say subhanallah, subhanallah, read Quran. Isn't Alif Lam Mim? I don't say Alif Lam Mim, harf, Alif, harf. One is letter, 30 hasanat. He'll remind you all good things, leave you for something that is beneficial, more timely. Don't pray on time. So let's do this. So this is something. If he doesn't get the 6th, he goes to the 7th, which is if you're in the path of da'wah, inviting others to the path of Allah, you're righteous, you enjoy good and you're good evil and all of that stuff, he will get people to nail you. He will. I'm not going to mention those type of people because they're known. All their job is to make sure that they point the fingers and fish for faults for Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the scholars and the people that do da'wah and everything else. Shit. They leave everybody. They leave the Christians, they leave the Jews, they leave the atheists, they leave the agnostic. They only nail the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And that's the trick of shaitan. They say, oh, you know what? I'm the only one that's right, everybody is wrong, so nail that one. So you will get harmed by their hand, by their tongue, by the social media. So you have to stick. This path is not easy. This path of da'wah is not easy. So we have to also understand all these 7 tricks and recognize them in those students.
We know the family, this is the core of society. You also have been doing for years, I remember probably a couple of decades or more, right? Marriage counseling. And the authentic hadith where the shaitan, the devil, the satanic forces go out, and you have the main devil, shaitan, Iblis, and he sends his armies out, and then they come back and say, what'd you do? And they say, okay, it's kid stuff. And then one says, I broke up husband from his wife, he gets the crown. Can you elaborate on that?
Of course.
And what have you seen? Has it been going up, the destruction of the home, the family? What's the cause? And what can we do to, what advice do you give with all your years of experience?
Of course. I mean, over 35 years doing this, Allah blessed me that, I taught some courses, I wrote books by the blessing of Allah, and I done counseling. I don't do counseling anymore, just saying. I'm retiring from counseling, so please don't call me. Okay, so it's a triangle.
Were you left scarred from that?
It drains you after 35 years because I was told by the doctor to stop counseling for the simple reason. Yeah, he said I'm an emotional guy. So what I do is I absorb people's problems and live them. So he says you have to stop. Because I actually go home and to be honest, I used to cry. Because how could a Muslim brother do that to a Muslim sister? How could a Muslim man and sister treat her husband, a Muslim brother, like that? I used to take it personally and obviously I cannot do that. But of course, just the triangle theory. Hey guys, just think about it. Your husband is here, the wife is here. Allah is above all of us. So what I tell the triangle theory from our scholars, may Allah bless them for teaching us, the closer you are to Allah, the closer you are to each other. The further away from Allah, the further away from each other. So all you have to remember, when you take the oath, my brother, when you take that oath, أَخَذْنَا مِنْكُمْ مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا, they've taken the stringent oath from you, and the oath is accept ma'ruf of the hold on to her in the best way possible, and things don't work out even if she wants you. You still have to be good to her. I know it's a bad deal, man, but that's the deal. So let's seal the deal. Now, he says, hold on to her in the best way possible, and if she wants you, still have to be good, because the word ihsan is there. Ihsan is being good to those who are bad to you, not good to those who are good. So, number one is being away from Allah, so away from Quran and Sunnah. Also understand that we listen so much to the other side and say, you know what, we let that shaitan come in exactly what he says. And from a minor thing, it will lure. And that's why Prophet says, when shaitan comes, say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem 3 times. And that's the time there's been, the study shows that you need to calm down, not to make the decision on a whim, not a knee-jerk reaction. And he says, change your position. If you're standing, sit down. Why? Because when you're standing, you're ready to fight. When you sit down, you still have a little more. And if you're sitting down, lie down, even more. You lay down, and. So he's trying to tell you, you have to make wudu. Make wudu. Why? Because water will put out the fire. Pray to a pad. So, say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, and say, spit three times right here on the left hand. But make sure you wipe it not there, just saying. And do what Umar Khattab used to do. Radiallahu anhu, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Wallahi, Umar, if shaitan sees you in one path, he will take the other side. You asked him why. He says, this is the trick. The trick that Umar radiallahu anhu used to do. So he said that Umar, every time shaitan asks him to do something, he recognizes the whispers of shaitan. He does the exact opposite. So shaitan says, that's a bad deal, man. Every time I want to do something bad, he does something good, I'm going to leave him alone. So you have to think, shaitan wants you to go to sleep, don't wake up for fetch. You say, you know what, shaitan? If I don't wake up for fetch, so make sure that you understand the difference.
you.